We got to play the waiver just in case somebody's mad at what we say.
The following show features stupid opinions and ideas from two idiot brothers who probably did little research and practiced zero due diligence on the topic at hand. The MLO Bros' opinions do not reflect the views of their employer, guests, sponsors, families, neighbors, or pets. If you do not like what they are saying and don't agree with their views or opinions, don't watch the show. We can promise we do not care. Welcome to the worst show on the internet.
Comments. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MLO Bros. I am Isaac. Luke's still out on vacation, but I'm here today with Abbie Bosak. Is it Bosak? Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
You're
good.
Cool. New councilwoman, Abbie
Hi.
Bosak. I am super excited to talk to her today. But before we start real quick, I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsor. Our sponsor of the month is Troy Polis from Brokers Realty. From Baltic to Boardwalk, Troy Polis covers the board. You can call him at 330-423-5442. And we are starting now. So, Abbie.
Right. Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So excited to have you on council now. The perfect replacement for Anthony Latanzio.
Thank you.
Like
Thanks. I appreciate your guys' support too.
Absolutely. You know, I said that from day one. Like when you were nominated or when you applied, how you were like the first one to apply, right?
Yeah.
So when you applied, I was talking with my brother and I'm like, that's honestly the perfect person because you're a year younger than me. So you're 27. 27.
Yeah.
So you're 27. You're 27, and I'm like, that's exactly what we need. You're married. You have a baby girl, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah, and I'm like, that is the perfect representation of our demographic because I feel like Poland is going, and you mentioned this in your speech when you were at council, like it's going through this turning over process of the older retired folks, empty nesters are moving out, and the younger folks are moving in.
Yeah.
And you're like that perfect representation.
Yeah, I'm watching it happen literally in my neighborhood. So where our house is, on either side of us, is mostly all baby boomers, retired. A lot of them, it's one person, maybe widowed, living in a house by themselves, and we are starting to see a lot of trickle in of young families moving into the community. There is honestly not a whole lot of in between. It's either like old or brand new, just moved in with kids.
Yep.
Just one really easy example is within the last 2 years, we've gotten 3 of those little kid libraries put up just on the north side alone. There's one behind Berkshire Hathaway here, one across the street from me. Brian Stanley has one, and then there's one on 2nd Street.
Yeah, right over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of young families, and that's what we want.
Yeah,
it's to represent those families and to encourage people to move in.
Mm-hmm. And I know I have a buddy on Edna, same thing's happening there. Luke, even out in the township, he is like one of the only ones on his road with kids. And it's just the house on either side of him is older folks that are thinking like retired empty nesters that will be moving out soon. So it's like, it's happening. And the importance of having someone, and I think we need to get one more into council, representing us or representing that demographic. I think it's just so important to have like fun things in the village for those families to do. And we're lacking right now. We're just like retirement community, quiet streets, nothing happening, but
yeah, for sure.
But we're trying. So, Abbie, you're Poland through and through. You grew up in Poland, right?
Yep. I was raised on North Main Street, that little tiny brick ranch house next to the dentist office.
Okay.
My mom bought that house, just the two of us, when she was like 21, 22, and we lived there.
Wow.
For forever. And then I graduated from Poland in 2013.
Yeah.
Met my husband in Poland. We dated through high school. So his family has always been from here as well.
Yeah. Were you guys freshmen or what?
I was a sophomore and he was a senior.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
cool.
It was very scandalous.
I know. No, it's not as scandalous as the classic, like scandalous freshman senior relationship. So you're good. Yeah. I feel like it wasn't quite as frowned upon.
Yeah.
But.
So we just started dating in high school. I work here. I work right across the street from you. So I live here.
Go ahead. Give the spiel.
I work for Rapid Mortgage. right across the street. So if anybody, needs a mortgage loan, let me know.
What's your NMLS number so you don't get sued?
611.
Nice.
I'm not really good at memorizing that, but I have it.
It's okay. Yeah.
It took me a while to get my social. So.
It's in your email. I think it has to be in like every form of advertising. So
I don't think it has to be verbal.
It doesn't?
It does not need to be verbal, and it does not need to be if it's on apparel.
Okay. This is why you call her. She knows.
I mean, stuff. I just took my test like this
year.
So
yeah.
So yeah, if it's on a t-shirt, you don't need it. If it's verbal, you don't need it. If you're putting it on like any kind of like actual advertising, you need it. So like online advertising, print, that kind of stuff.
I was just worried, like, so the MLO bros, we were worried for a while, like since MLO is in the title, like, will they think that?
For those that don't know, that's mortgage loan originator.
Yeah. So I say that at the end of every podcast, but like we were worried that they were going to try and come after us for advertising and not using it enough. So we just make sure to just say it just to cover our bases.
Well, like, do you have it on your signage for your building?
I think so. I don't know.
Because you don't need to.
No, you know what? We just have Nationwide Mortgage Bankers. We don't even have.
Right. Ours just says Rapid Mortgage.
Yeah. And then, no, definitely not for the MLO bros, but
nobody cares about this but us.
No, sorry. Yeah, this is kind of
literally
stupid.
Nobody cares.
But, Jose says, "Hello, Abbie."
Hi, Jose.
And
love him.
Marie, I think, is sending you stars. I think that's what that is.
Oh,
but hey, Jose, what's up, buddy? Is it a client?
It's my mother-in-law. If it was a client, I was totally going to answer.
You'd have to just walk out. But so now that you're on council, so why did you want to run for council?
I'm still really not sure. It all happened really quick. Honestly,
yeah,
I did not think it through a whole lot, to be completely honest.
That's awesome.
It really just kind of picked up its own legs and took off on its own. I was concerned about what was going to happen with North Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of talk about what we were doing with the building. I live right catty corner to North Elementary, so I care a lot. It affects my home value, having it sitting there empty. The playground is now a danger. It didn't used to be, but now it is.
Yeah, the slide is.
There's a big hole in the slide, and it's not safe. I was very concerned about that. I expressed concerns about it, and Mike Zembauer reached out to me and was like, "Hey, if you're concerned, you want to do something about it."
Yeah.
So I was like, "All right, I'm not gonna, am I allowed to swear?"
I
caught myself, but I was like,
you can.
I'm not going to complain about it or anything if I'm not willing to, stick my neck out and do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was appointed to the strategic planning committee, which that's something that's going to be under their umbrella, is to try to see what happens with North Elementary.
And Latanzio was on that, right?
Yes.
Was he like leading it? No?
I don't know. I think he kind of just leads anything he does. It's kind of from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Anything he does, he kind of just takes the reins and runs with it. So I was on that, and they appointed me to the committee, but then never gave me any direction as to what the committee was doing. So I got appointed, and then nobody contacted me. There was nothing. Me and one other resident that were appointed together, we kept messaging each other, and we were like, so now what? Is it
Jenna? Is Jenna on there?
No, it's Megan Collingwood. She lives on an island.
Yeah.
So we were like, we don't really know what we're supposed to be doing. Nobody told us when the committee meets, what the committee does, or any direction. We still haven't met. So we started just showing up to council meetings because we thought maybe we were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So I started just showing up to meetings on accident.
Yeah.
And then just kept going and would catch the members on council that were on the strategic planning committee after and be like, hey, so like, we do anything about this? They're like, oh yeah. And then would never get back to me.
Yeah.
So it definitely
classic Poland.
It needs organized. We had a tentative meeting that nobody remembered about except for I think me, which is really sad because we're the planning committee. We can't plan our own committee planning meetings. So we're still working on it, but they have a lot of really good traction. A lot of stuff started.
Yeah. Strategic planning's the sidewalks, right? They're going to fix the sidewalks and
they're
stuff.
doing that walking path, which is going to be awesome for us. Like where we live.
Yes.
They're connecting Johnston by North and doing a really nice walking path. That's going to go right across the street from like the dog fence.
Yes.
There where the little library is. And it's going to connect to what I've always called the bike trail growing up, the walking path where Sheridan is blocked off. And it connects to Cover.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to redo that. Something I was really pushing for with that is they need streetlights back there because the wooded part is sketchy.
I have had, at night.
Right.
And then I've had deer like run up behind me.
Right. So that needs to be lit for sure. So they're going to repave that and they're going to put benches on it and streetlights and put little curves in it.
It's going to be beautiful.
Nice. Yeah. It's going to be actually really nice. And it's going to be a nice way to like connect. I can walk to my office from work very easily from there.
Sweet.
Really cool. So I mean, it's not. I don't want to make it sound like the committee's completely unorganized or that's bad. It's definitely unorganized. But there's a lot of it's still doing things. Yeah. They've got a lot of stuff like in the pipeline. Like,
what would you like to happen in the North property?
See, I don't know because it's so hard to say who's responsible for it, who's in charge. So obviously the school system right now has they definitely have the reins on it. The planning committee was there more so as a way to kind of guide them and say, listen, either like shit or get off the pot.
Exactly.
If you're going to use it as a school, use it as a school. If you're not, if it's going to sit here empty, give it to us and we're going to do something with
I think it's a situation where they need money, and we've had Soup on Soup Hockenberry as well as oh my gosh, what's his name? I'm so rude. Not DeBartolo. Is it Eddie? No, it's oh my goodness.
Does anybody watching, does anyone know how long the school has been empty? When did it close?
Couple years.
I think it's been more than a couple.
Really?
Think so.
But I think their number one plan is to make it like 1 through 6. I think
I really liked when you guys pointed out like it was very hard to read it when you're watching.
Yeah.
All of these school options.
That's what I was. Yeah.
Every single option that they had worked out was putting it back into a school, right?
Yes.
Every single.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah. So I think a majority of them though were knocking it down and putting.
That's fine. They've left it empty to rot for too long.
Yeah. Like you said, something needs to happen. Either like the best thing you could do right now is seriously just knock it down. Let it be green space until you figure out what to do with it. Because then you could have residents actually using it for something, right. Green space.
So myself and Megan that I mentioned that's on strategic planning committee, the North Elementary, that's the hot buzz topic. Everybody wants to talk about what we're doing there. We both, without even planning it, already had the same idea of what we wanted to be there.
Yeah.
And both had Pinterest boards already without even talking about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I made a Pinterest board too of what I want there. And we both have this vision of not necessarily a playground. Playground equipment is expensive and it's overdone. We already have playgrounds.
Yes. The touchdown playground over here is nice. Over by like the village hall.
Yes. Yeah. The new one.
Yeah.
But it's overdone. Playground equipment is super expensive.
Yeah.
And we have that already.
Yeah.
What we were picturing was a green space where it's mostly recycled pieces. Has anybody been to Hipley Park in Columbiana where it's like a botanical garden?
Hipley Park in Columbiana.
It's hidden. People, if you don't know about it, you haven't been.
Where is this? I gotta take my wife there. Where is it?
It's like off of the main road. Like if you pass, like going down North Lima down the main stretch there.
Yeah. Do you make it to the circle?
No, okay. No. It's private property.
Oh.
There's the St. Jude Church.
Yeah.
If you're heading south, St. Jude Church, that street that goes to that is on your left. If you turn right, it's you cut back through there. This family just had all this money and like built it all through their backyard.
Recycled pieces? Like what?
Yeah. So this one is a little, but that was my idea behind it. It's a botanical garden, but you reuse. So like if you take just a slide and you build it, you could build up a hill with grass and you could just plant it into the ground. So the kids can just walk up the hill and then they can slide on the slide. There was ones where that you use like old tires to make several different things. You could have like little gardens there.
Yeah. It's a cool idea.
Yeah. Like it's something that like is not a playground, but kids can like jump and climb and touch and feel. There was one where you make like a sensory path where each like square was made out of something different. One maybe sand, one could be pebbles, like sensory activities and stuff.
Yeah.
But
more creative than just your basic
yeah,
playground.
yeah, just a community green space. Honestly, you could put like fire pits there. But honestly, in short, I do kind of want to see it go back into a school if that's what they're going to do. At the end of the day, I want them to either turn it over and let somebody do something like that with it, or tear it down and make a school. 2 reasons. With you living up by the north side, I think you would agree too. This is something I mentioned when I was applying for council and they let us each speak. If they turn that back into a school that then puts in a new pin drop radius to prevent sex offenders from moving into that whole north side.
That's a good point.
Currently, we have a lot on the north side.
Really?
Because they cannot be near. I don't know exactly what the radius is. I'd have to look it up. But
you mentioned that at the meeting. I remember you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I think I am really against the idea of doing a one centralized school.
I think they are now too, honestly.
It's so stupid. Okay. So one, think of any place you have a school, you have a new pin drop to prevent sex offenders from moving in. If you
spread out the schools, you can cover the map.
If you spread out the schools, then it really covers the whole map. And as a mom, I'm like that matters.
Yeah. That's awesome. I never even thought about that.
Also, traffic. They're going to have to redo the roads majorly if they're going to put all of the children in one location. Just having Pullen High School across from Dobbins, even with staggered start times, was a complete
traffic nightmare
cluster.
And
they had 2 roads going into there, but it was a nightmare. Imagine we put all of our students, K through 12 in one main area. What if there's an emergency?
Oh, yeah.
What if there's an emergency, police, fire, they need to get there at the same time. Damn well, all the parents are going. Even if they tell them not to, the parents are all going there.
Yeah.
Every parent in the district K through 12 trying to get to one building at the same time, whether it be, a fire or, worse, that's not feasible, as far as traffic goes. It's not.
Yeah.
They would have to completely refigure an area to have several routes.
I went to South Range in my sophomore year. We moved into a K through 12 complex.
Yeah. So how does that work?
So I don't think we had the land to do it because it was so spread out, and you basically it was like a giant T, right? So the property was a giant T, and each wing of the T was something different. So elementary, high school, middle school, and then everybody shared a cafeteria in the center of the T, as well as
is Chris saying it just happened in Lowville with the cluster of people trying to get to the school?
Exactly.
Right.
I don't know if he's saying that or if they have a K through 12 building, but
I think they do have a K through 12, and they also just had a school shooting.
Yeah. So
after, it's a shitty thing to talk about, but after what happened in Texas and the response, damn well the parents are going to be,
absolutely,
they're going to have their asses there,
especially
and
in Texas. That was crazy. They were waiting outside for an hour,
right? And I'm almost always siding with, but there's just got to be. I don't understand if it was my kid in that school, there'd be no stopping me from being there. I mean, the parents, the traffic would be a nightmare. There'd be no feasible way for emergency personnel. I mean, even if it's a fire.
Yeah. And we in South Range had 2 roads. So the property was split on 2 roads. So you could come in from either direction. And then it was 2 giant loops. So traffic, they tried their best to make but it's still everybody in that one spot. And
I remember just in the
jam.
high school with the traffic, especially when you get to the high school, because the students drive themselves there. There was all the time with student drivers. There would be days where a huge chunk of the
Hey, Chris Graff, by the way. What's up?
Okay. There would be days where there'd be a huge chunk of students late for school because it would be a domino effect of one kid rear ends one and they go and we're all on one road trying to get to the school, and you got to wait for the police to come, and some kids are always calling their parents. So, and I mean, that's what happens when everybody is in a line going in the same direction. It's just not feasible. With the separated schools, it makes it a lot easier to
get in and out. So I don't think they want to do the one building now. It was on there. It was on the list of options, but it seems like in Poland's growing too. So you're having more and more kids come in each year. So I think more buildings is almost better so that you can kind of.
We need to be able to expand and contract
easier.
I mean, that's what the population does. I mean, it just they closed all these schools down because our population took a dip, but it's coming back up, and they didn't take care of the schools in the meantime. You know, I mean, it's now we're starting to see an increase of younger families moving in and having kids, and it's going to continue to expand and contract.
Yeah,
they need to be able to be prepared for that.
And I think North too. I think they're just waiting for money. Like they're waiting to first poll the community, find out which option works best with the community.
Poll
they're gonna do like marketing in order to like check see what everybody wants.
Okay. And I love that. I definitely think the polls are a great option.
And then that way, if they do try and vote on it to get the money to do whatever the people want, it has the best chance of passing, because they don't just want to waste a levy or whatever they try and pass. Right. But
they definitely need community feedback.
Yes,
1,000%.
Yeah, but the problem is you're gonna have. I think the best way to have it pass is to have something in the village, like keep North. I like North 1 through 6. The McKinley, like a community center, and then Union, I think they make in like sell it or something and make it into like condos or something, and then just revamp the 7 and 8 section of the high school out in the township, as well as like, I don't know, revamp the high school. But you went there. What do you think about it?
Like, right. Well, from when I was in, and honestly, I have not been inside the school. So nobody from the school system get angry with me. I have not been inside the schools, especially since, I graduated in 2013 and, talking about the elementary schools and the middle schools. I have no idea what the conditions are.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just, don't take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
I did not do my due diligence on this. But the problem is 2 of our buildings are historic.
Yeah.
But they're falling apart.
Yeah.
I am usually, and this is such a hot buzz topic, I'm torn. Part of me is like, you have to save it because President McKinley went to school there.
Yeah.
They're historic. But at the same time, I recall in the what was 7th and 8th grade when I was in school on College Street.
Yeah.
It would flood all the time. There was huge chunks of the building that were shut off, that were blocked off. I had never seen, but if you look on a map, they're there. There's classrooms
because they're like flooded or what?
They're just, I don't know. And I was a bad kid in like 7th, 8th grade. We would try to run away and go find them.
Yeah.
And I got caught a couple times, but like in the basement, awesome. If you look on a map of the school, in the basement, there is areas like rooms down there that are completely, they had like those little like crisscross
that's
things in front of them that you can't get.
I want to go exploring.
I know it's a very fun building to explore, but where it connects one side of the building to the other, there's like this really like bottleneck effect on 2 floors where it's a really thin hallway, and kids would have to cross through there to get from one side to the other, and it would flood all the time. And I remember we would like have to like do like a little like half step skip jump to get through there sometimes before they would come and like shut the hallway down, and then everybody was late because you couldn't use that hallway.
Yeah.
The building it's old, but and it's a shame that it was not better taken care of. But I don't know. I've never been responsible for taking care of an old building. Maybe, using it. It was being used. They put kids in it every day, hundreds of kids every day. You can only probably take care of it best you can.
Yeah.
An old car, if you drive it all day, every day, it's going to wear out no matter how good you take care of it.
I wonder if so I've always said, if you're gonna, if they have the money to do it and the community wants to put the money up to fix it, then fix it, but fix it right so that we don't have issues. But if you're going to knock it down, just implement the old architecture as well as some of the materials like the bricks into the new building if you can. That way you have the history as well as the architecture. And
I'm not one to say like, hey, I have the answers. I don't know. I'm not an architect. I'm not, I'm not even handy a little bit. So I don't know like feasibly if McKinley or Union are salvageable. Obviously, if they're salvageable, I'm not always going to say, hey, history first before anything else. If it's not feasible to do it and if they're too far gone, then they're too far gone, but we can't let them sit empty. I mean,
True.
Union specifically. Letting it sit empty is not the answer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, either, like I said before, either shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, exactly.
Either do something with it or knock it down.
From those forms I was seeing where they were coming up with the different ideas, it didn't seem like they wanted to use Union. Like out of all of them, the most interest was in North in terms of putting something like either 1 through 4 or like a middle school or something. But I think they like the aspect of having the most space up at North. So that's huge. But
honestly, I think for the community that wanted something different there, like a playground or a green space or, what have you, the spot on North, I didn't never realize how much space there actually is there. There's a ton of space. If they're going to put a school there, chances are they're going to get a new playground. Or, maybe they can rezone it. So like, hey, this is the school and we can put a nice green space, a community area here. It's huge. There's a ton of room behind the building that you don't even see.
Yeah.
I do want to say if they're going to put a playground, as a mom, one thing I think they really need to do, which is the first time I've really seen it done on the new playground they put by McKinley, which is genius.
Yeah.
A fence. Why are
the
there not fences around all the playgrounds?
It makes sense. Keep the kids in,
right?
So
like when I take my kid to Walnut Grove, I'm always like, because they could just
it's just open. It's just in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Any playground should have a freaking fence.
How's your child?
She'll be 2 next week.
That's like my favorite age. And then
she's so fun. And she's at that age where she's like bad, but it's funny. Like she's funny and she knows she's funny. She's
up to when they talk and then they don't stop talking. I have like 6 or 7 nephews and a niece, and it's just like that's my favorite age right there. Still can get into trouble, but not like to the point of never stop talking.
And she has this thing now where she darts and runs and she thinks it's funny.
Just bolts.
So like when you go to the playground, it's like, and if we're gonna build any new playgrounds or anything in the
fences,
community, put fences around them. So I could see clear entryways and exits. If I lose her, all I know is I need to watch the door.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
What about the village in terms of attractions, or just what do you see in the village? What would you love to see in the village that's not here to make our community more attractive to people who could potentially move here?
Yeah. So one thing Mr. Thompson asked each candidate, what is one thing that's really important to you? One thing that you're number one. And I don't know if I'd say this is my number one, but it's very important to me, is from somebody that just helped my company open a brick and mortar business in Poland. From the outside, Poland has a not great reputation, where Poland Village puts off a reputation that we do not want businesses. We're not welcoming. I just spoke with O'Donut, and they should have had a welcoming committee. They chose to bring their business here. They could have put it anywhere else. And instead of getting a welcome, they were hit with a zoning violation immediately. Like, what the hell are we doing?
What was their zoning violation?
For their sign. I'm like, come on, guys. So and when we were putting our office in here, like everybody thinks like, you don't move into Poland Village because they're assholes. They're gonna give you a hard time. And honestly, they kind of do give you a hard time.
It's just backwards. Like you would think it would be, we want these companies here, we want them to come and grow, we want them to,
and they do want that, but they don't know how to
like you said, be welcoming about it.
They need to work on some hospitality.
It's like okay, this is a list of everything you're doing wrong, or this is a cease and desist order, or like this is like it's
so
just always barriers.
So this is kind of silly. So we have committees within committees in Poland, which is just kind of dumb. But part of the strategic planning committee has another arm to it, which is like the business committee, which is very new. We haven't done a whole lot yet, but the goal is to attract, like, they've at least recognized that there is a problem, and it's not like they are being assholes and don't want businesses. They've at least recognized, hey, put a subcommittee in this committee and somebody fix it. So what we're trying to do is we can follow all the same ordinances, all the same zoning issues, but we don't have to be jerks about it. Like, Poland is special because a lot of the strict rules, like, it's a cute little boutique style town. And I love that about it. we could be marketing that to businesses for people to want to open, their new business here. And, if somebody shows interest, we want to have an informational packet that says, here's how you open a business in Poland. Instead of saying, oh, you don't want to go there, they're going to give you a hard time. They're not going to be allowed to put a sign up. We want it to be, oh, you do want to go there. It's a really cute town. You can have like a little boutique style shop. Like, you can't have any, lit signs. Okay, that's fine. But in our booklet, we can show you, hey, here's our sign guy. You don't have to use him, but he knows all of the zoning regulations, and he will guide you through the process. He will show you what you can and cannot do. Here's who you can go to. Like, here's a insurance referral. Right now, the way it's structured, to put up a sign, you need to go to a council meeting. So I sent my boss to this council meeting. He's from Canfield. He does not care about all of the council. He doesn't need to be there. And this is a smaller company. If this is like a bigger company wanting to open, they do not have time for this.
No.
And public does not get to speak until the end anyway. So he had to sit
through the whole thing.
He came to the office and was like, I had to sit there and listen to some kind of argument about the garden committee. And it was so stupid. And all I had to do was stand up and say, like, hey, I'm Ian Spellman. I put in an application for a sign.
A damn sign.
Can I have my sign? And then they had to look at it and like vote on it, and just for pretty much trying to tell him yes. Like, that could have been an email.
But you're exactly right. It's
it
always
was not necessary.
It's always no, or like, you're doing this wrong. It's never, you know what, you have a great idea. We want you here. We want your company here, but you got to do it this way. Like,
here's the tools. We will show you.
Here's how you do it that way.
This is our preferred sign guy. He knows what the requirements are. He'll help you design it within,
And that makes you more attractive and less of like, just no, we don't want that.
Right. Yeah. And, coming from somebody in, people in finance, we do need more things here other than insurance and finance.
Yeah.
We need coffee shops. We need boutiques. We need breweries.
I want a nice brewery, and I want like a nice restaurant where you can sit down and have a glass of wine.
Like the Struthers, Salas and Struthers. We use that as an example. They put it in the old historic bank.
Yeah.
And they built like a really cute boutique style restaurant. I keep hitting this.
No, it's okay.
Restaurant in there, and they kept a lot of the same architecture. It's very cool, very modern.
Tracy says a nice cafe. I think that's
we need a cafe. There's since Wittenauer's closed, there's no meeting places in
Wittenauer's was so good too. Yeah.
Right. And we need to petition to whoever owns the Old Stone Tavern to get out.
I want it to be a tavern. Yeah.
Right.
And
keep the style. Like, don't make it look like a normal bar. Make it look like a freaking tavern. Like, give us beer steins.
Yes. And if we're going to be historical preservation freaks, make it a tavern. That's like, come on, council. I know we have a lot of historical preservation.
Own the building. We just need to be like, hey, how much for you to get out?
You're able to make the houses all about historical preservation, and it's historical homes and stuff. It's a tavern. Turn it back into a tavern.
Right.
Make it awesome.
We need places that are going to be open after 5 p.m.
Yeah.
We need
but there's a lot of pushback against that right now.
Columbiana is the perfect example. They kept their character, but they are able to grow. They were able to show we are open for business. They have breweries, they have wineries, and it's not a problem. Like, people drink beer and wine, and it's okay.
So the only difference between us and Columbiana, though, is like, you need to have like a cultural shift within the community, because for a very long time, Columbiana had absolutely nothing. And then the people started to, like with Firestone Farms, for an example, they like pulled the community. They like went door to door and asked everybody, hey, would you be cool if we put like this Firestone Farms here? There'd be bars or whatever there. And everybody was like, yes, that's a great idea. We've always wanted something like that in Columbiana. So then they were able to pass it legally.
Downtown Main Street.
Yeah.
It's historic.
Yeah.
They have apartments on the upstairs parts of some of the buildings, which are nice. They have boutiques. They have antique shops. Also, if we want to have things in the center of Poland, we are getting new traffic lights next summer, which is going to be great in the center of town to kind of fix the traffic problem. But like, from where my office is, I don't even know if traffic lights are going to fix it. There's no way to get in and out of my office unless you're like me and you've memorized the traffic patterns and have figured out that if this light goes green, you could cut those people off.
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to start putting stuff there, we need to have an easier way to people get
absolutely.
in and because downtown Columbiana, you can park behind the main road.
Yeah, there's like roads behind
that you can park, which you can't really do that here.
Tracy says, is there even any liquor licenses in the Poland Village except for the gas station? There are.
Yeah.
There are. Absolutely. I think there's 3 to 5 maybe.
Yeah. But so that's Zembauer would be the one to ask about this because he has a lot of information on it. Because he talked to me about it, and I'm kind of paraphrasing. People are under the assumption that it's very difficult to get one here. Mm-hmm. It's not. The only thing that's really different.
I just thought it was. I always thought it was viewed from outside. Like, I'm not going to open a bar or whatever in the village because it's going to be such a headache that it's not even worth my time. I'll just go to board.
People don't even ask to open anything here because they assume you can't.
Yeah.
The only difference, and I'm not 100% on this, but from what I'm remembering from my conversation with Mike Zembauer, was the only difference with Poland Village, because we're not dry anymore, we used to be, is our liquor license are not transferable. So if you open a bar here, you cannot sell your bar and transfer your liquor license to another owner.
They would have to start the process over.
Yeah, that's
okay.
From my understanding.
And I'm fine with that.
Right. They were like, he was joking. He was like, if you want a liquor license, just go get your damn liquor license.
Yeah.
You can go get one.
But I don't even think they view it as just liquor license issues. It's like anytime anything comes up, even if it's remotely the smallest thing ever, you're going to get a knock at your door. So it's like, why would I do that when I could just go open it in Boardman? But we need to change that culture, that reputation. And
it would need to be things notable other than just a regular bar, because if somebody wants a bar,
I'm not saying like a biker bar.
Not coming to Poland Village.
No,
people don't want to drink in Poland Village, which is a good thing as a resident. Unless you live here, you're not gonna go out of your way to come here to drink because people are like, oh, you're gonna get a ticket.
Exactly.
Which, as a resident, I kind of like that is the reputation that we have
in our community. So nice because of
that would want to draw people, like a microbrewery or the tavern, something that's not your traditional, just a bar. Just like
I just want something with a very nice patio. Like I think not the opposite of a biker. If anybody
wants to open a cat cafe, I will.
What's a cat
lobby.
Cafe?
It is a cafe with cats.
You just bring your cat, or they just have cats there?
I think usually they're cats that are up for adoption. So like New Lease would bring their cats for the day.
I think
and you could,
Shelby's mentioned that to me. Yeah, that's
or instead of a cafe one, you could be like a bar. So you get people drunk and then they adopt cats.
Yeah, just like stupid decisions just to adopt like 8 cats.
Oh, we could have the cat cafe that's coffee, and then next door could be the puppy pub.
Okay, I love it.
That would bring people in. If anybody wants to open one of those, I will help you get your liquor license. I will lobby for you.
Speaking of animals, Marshall's Marvelous Pet Service, Poland Pet Service, conducted by my wife, who is a licensed vet tech. If you have an animal that needs a pet service, give us a call. Take care of you.
Oh, that's really cool. She's a vet tech.
Yeah, she's a vet tech over at Doctors Park in Canfield, across from like Giant Eagle. There's a little vet office there.
Does she work on raccoons?
No, they're all like dogs and cats, basically.
It's a little late now, but
oh my goodness, what was I gonna say? But yeah, I want like a very like nice, classy establishment. I'm not trying to bring in like a biker bar and put it in the middle of Poland. Obviously, I think being able to walk from my condo in Massachusetts with my wife, go downtown, call it downtown, but the village, have a drink, and then walk home or ride bikes or whatever. But there needs to be something for like that for us to do. That'd be so sweet.
A few years we could have like kids pull us in wagons or something.
Exactly. So,
and there's nowhere here. I'm sure you've noticed too. There's nowhere here to meet clients.
Yeah, like Wittenauer's was a go-to.
That was my go-to. Also, I just went to Wittenauer's.
Yeah.
There's nowhere here to meet clients at.
Yeah, you got to go to Boardman.
And nobody really seems to. Maybe it's just me. I've had horrible luck with figuring out the library hours. And they can't keep a cafe in there at all. Probably because the hours don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Nobody knew when they
could
go.
What are the library hours?
Without Googling it, does anybody know the library hours?
Honestly, people tell me about how beautiful the inside of the library is.
It is. It's gorgeous.
I'm awful because I've never been inside of it.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I just need to go walk in there.
It is. I keep meaning to take my daughter, but I just always forget. Like, I gotta look up the hours.
Yeah.
Because they do. Yeah, the hours suck.
Do you have to have like a certain like a library card to get in there or anything, or can you just walk in and?
You just walk in.
Okay, I'm gonna go explore.
They have a really cute kids section.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. The kids section's really cute. There's like puppets and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
The cafe. Yeah, there's no cafe in there anymore though, which stinks. They can't keep anything in there.
Absolutely. So what else about council? I'm trying to think. Are you excited to be on council now? Like,
yeah.
moving forward?
I'm honestly still a little bit shocked. Like I said, I did not really. I know I applied early, but like did not think it through that much before I applied. I was just like,
let's do it.
Okay, let's do this.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So it was really one of those just like crazy like.
But the things I loved was you applied early, so you showed incentive. Like, I don't care who else applies, I'm applying first. And then I feel like the other applicants were just like, okay, last minute. Like they were
all the last.
Yeah.
Like it was Martha was the next one to apply, and she was
like a few days. Thursday.
She was the cutoff was like Friday night, and she applied on Thursday, and then Mr. Rowe and Mr. DeMarco applied like that night.
Yeah.
Which honestly,
Rowe was Friday morning, and then DeMarco was like 3 p.m. and the cutoff was 5, I think.
Yeah, so. I was glad when other people applied though, because I don't want to be the only applicant. That's lame. Like I don't want to win.
That's what Graff was, I think.
No.
Didn't Graff get in just by himself?
He was either Kempers or Masucci. One of the school administrative people were running against him.
Really? Oh, but he was voted in by council.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't want to get in by default. Like that's lame. So I mean, I wanted to at least not like I wanted other people to lose, but I wanted to feel like I earned it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I loved that, and then when you went in and you did your little speech before the meeting, I was like listening on my phone before my podcast on Tuesday. But I heard you talk, and then I saw little bits and pieces of the other two talking, and like you were just off the cuff and like saying everything that I've always wanted to say to the council, but I've never been able to because I don't live in the village. But I was like, this is awesome. This is great. She's so much better at speaking than me. So it's way better than I could ever do. And then the other two like had their books and they were almost like reading from like a script. And I was like,
honestly, if Jeremy DeMarco, I think if he would have read his script beforehand, kind of planned it in his head and went off the cusp.
I didn't hear much of him.
I think he's a great future opportunity.
Yeah.
Now he did sound like he was in school reading a paper like this, but what he had to say, like what he wrote down, I thought was solid.
His application was great too.
Right.
Yes.
Right. It's like president of the African Student Club and what?
He had a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I think, but
and
the
that's
problem
what Latanzio was too, right? I think Latanzio was like in school when he was on council.
He was like 20, 21.
That's wild.
Right. But you know what the difference was? I think nobody knew who Jeremy was. He's not involved. He doesn't come to council meetings. And like I said, I ended up going to council meetings kind of just on accident because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
But I was at least
so I'm like backing you up. Abbie goes to all the meetings because she wants to be there, and I'm like, oh, she actually thought she was supposed to be there, so she
I wasn't
had
really
to go.
Sure, so I would just go.
That's awesome.
But if Jeremy was more involved, and spoke off the cusp, I think. I mean, he probably like if he were to start getting involved, I think he'd be a really good opportunity to run in the future.
Absolutely,
like in a regular election, I think he'd be great.
Absolutely, and
honestly, the reason I didn't have anything planned though, because several times throughout the week, I would sit down with a piece of paper. I would sit down at my laptop at my desk and be like, okay, what am I going to say? And then be like, nah, screw it. And like go do something else.
Yeah.
And I just could not come up with, I'm like, I know what I want to say. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, I hate reading out loud. Like, unless I'm reading to my kid, I hate reading out loud. I don't know why. I get like, I went to like Bible study with my church.
Yeah.
They're like, do you want to read that verse? And I'll straight up be like, no,
thanks.
No, thank you. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Somebody else do it. I get like, I don't mind public speaking, but public reading aloud, can't do it. So
well, you did great public speaking just off the cuff. And I feel like Luke and my brother and I are still the same way too. Like just go with it and hope for the best.
Yeah, no,
so Hemphill says Poland library hours, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Friday, Saturday, 9 to 5. That's not that weird.
No, I guess not. I guess I just kept going at the wrong time and they were never open.
I feel like the coffee shop, I went to the coffee shop a couple times when it was Pressed. Always loved Pressed.
I love Pressed downtown.
COVID put them down.
Mm-hmm.
COVID put them down.
I was a big fan of the downtown version of Pressed where they had just like an old house that they converted and left the whole house Did you ever go in there?
Yeah, it's
you just like go sit. You take your coffee and just go sit in some random bedroom that they put like a donated couch in. It was a really good place to like hang out at when you're at YSU if you didn't want to like see anybody.
My mom was actually a nursing professor at YSU, and it's always been there. It was called, before it was pressed, it was the Beat, I think.
Yeah. My stepmother said that she was like, oh, we used to always go to the Beat.
Yeah, and I would always get hot chocolate. My mom would always take me to get hot chocolate after her classes. So
yeah, if you wanted to like get a coffee and kind of be left alone and not run into anybody, that'd be like the place to go.
They have very good frittatas. My wife and I call them the Nelly frittatas are great. But yeah, food's good. So happy to vote. The vote fell on the side of common sense and what is best for our community. Congrats, Abbie.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Thanks for tuning in, Michael. Yeah, I just after Martha kind of walked out, not walked out, but she kind of quit early. That kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. And I think, like I said it in a podcast earlier this week on Monday before they elected you, it's just who's the best replacement for the person who was elected, which was Latanzio. Who best represents that? I don't think it's Martha. I think it's closer to you. And I'm so happy.
Jeremy would have been I could have seen if people Jeremy were looking at it only with those lenses. Yeah. Jeremy would have been a great option too.
But I think you're more involved, like Rotary, and you have a business right in the center of Poland. You're much more involved.
Yeah, I think he needs a little bit more experience. Maybe move out of his parents' house. Nothing like wrong with that. Just get a little bit more life experience.
Yeah,
and then see what village council actually does, because he focused a whole lot on the schools, but we don't really have
that much of a connection to the schools
involvement. I mean, that's the school board at that point, but I mean, he has such great stuff to say.
David says the cafe in the Poland library doesn't have to worry about the hours of the library is open. See, that's what's screwed with me, David, is the hours for pressed weren't the same as they were downtown. So sometimes I would show up there and they just wouldn't be open, or it was all off. And I think that kind of led to their own demise too with COVID as well. But it was always
possible. I do wish there was another, like a second entrance to the library, though. It's kind of a bitch to get in and out of there.
You have to go up all the way to the front. Where do you go in? I don't even.
You go in at the back, but like you have to like go down like this crazy hill, and it's like pull out on the main road.
Oh yeah. Where you park.
It's not ideal. It gets a lot of foot traffic. Honestly, like if I was gonna go, I mean, I guess I would still park there, but like in the winter, like it's like a big old hill.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So what else? It just seems so intimidating. Like the council seems so intimidating. Like they're talking about such complicated things, and it would take me so long to get adjusted to like the way the meetings go.
I'm still very confused. And
I've gone to a couple meetings. I have no idea what's going on.
It's very, I mean, a member of the press I was sitting next to like during the regular meeting, and she had the agenda. She's like, where are we? And I was like,
yeah.
I know it's going to take me some getting used to. Like the first few meetings, like anybody that's like watching or tuning into the meetings, just assume I don't know what's happening.
It's so good to hear.
I have no idea either, because it's very confusing. Who was I sitting next to? That's going to take a while to remember everyone's name. The attorney.
Maseko.
Yeah. Jay Maseko. He was like, just say I. I'm like, when everyone else does, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I mean, I'll get the hang of it, but it's kind of like learning
We need a better learning curve. What I would love is someone on council to like give us a rundown, like give the people like a lesson for like an hour. Okay, this is what's going to happen at the meeting. Like this is step 1. This is step 2. This is what we're talking about when we all say I or second or whatever. This is what we're doing. We're calling when we call roll in the middle of the meeting over and over and over.
Right.
Stuff like that. I just don't.
And when I was talking with Mr. Thompson, he was like, at first it's going to seem like we're not doing anything, and it's going to seem really slow and redundant when you first get started. But once you understand what's happening, it'll be like, okay, all right, this makes sense. I was like, okay, I sure hope so.
It just seems so old and like out of date, but I don't
I mean, I know a lot of it is illegal, like the way it has to be proceeded. think it's legal.
Where Friendlies used to be in Poland. What is there now? That's Huntington, right?
Where Friendlies in Poland, it's a dentist office.
Oh yeah, that's
which
right.
I think was really cruel as a kid that went to Friendlies every day after school to close
to
Friendlies
get ice cream and destroy your teeth.
To close the ice cream shop and put a dentist office in there. I know that was not like a
The dentist
design,
is
like
an
somebody
evil
did
genius
that,
who
but
did
it
that on
seemed-
purpose.
It was so evil, so evil.
That's hilarious. I never thought about that. Yeah, well, I think you got anything else to say to wrap it up? I don't even know. I'm excited.
I'm excited for sure. I mean, I'm definitely excited. I definitely feel like a deer in headlights right now. Where I'm having like thoughts of like, what did I just do? Like, I have no idea what we're doing, but I'll figure it out. Like, it's going to be fine.
That is cruel.
That is cool. Great. And yeah, I'm sure the council members will be patient with me and kind of understand, like, yeah, I mean, they've been functioning with an empty seat. So at least somebody's sitting there. It's going to take me a minute to figure out what we're doing though. Yeah, for sure.
Celebrate Poland. You guys talk about Celebrate Poland?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We totally forgot about that. So Celebrate Poland is tomorrow and Saturday. I'm super excited about that. I've gone every year since I was a kid. So definitely. And then my company across the street, we were going to do just a community / like business connection thing in our parking lot. And we picked a date and then
tailgate.
It's kind of like a tailgate style, but we didn't want to call it a tailgate because we didn't want people to think we were like grilling.
Oh, yeah.
We're not cooking because we wanted to make sure we have like a pretzel truck for like snacks, but that's mostly gonna be for like people that are there working it all day, which is open to the public.
You're not gonna have what's his name flipping burgers?
Ian?
No, well, Ian, but
Bib?
Also Bib. Yeah, Nathan. You're not gonna have Nathan.
So we wanted to make sure we were not competing with Celebrate Poland, and they have 18 food trucks. So we wanted.
What time does the food truck start tomorrow? Then
I have no idea. I have no clue. But we wanted to make sure that we weren't competing with Celebrate Poland, that we're just kind of
good call.
So the idea is like we're gonna have like some of our like business referral partners that are hanging out anyway. But as far as like the community goes, we just wanted like, hey, a lot of people walk to Celebrate Poland. My whole life we always walked. Yeah. Pop by. We're giving out free water. We're gonna have some beer there. We're not selling it.
Just coolers.
Yep.
Not selling it. Just giving it away.
We're not allowed to sell it, but you can give it away.
Which honestly, Poland is almost more dangerous in my eye to just give it away than buy it.
Yeah. So
but we would need, rules.
You would need a separate permit for commerce. But hey, whatever. But it's family friendly. We're gonna have a face painter there. Nice. We checked Celebrate Poland does not have a face painter. We have a face painter. We have a bubble machine. We're gonna have a speaker, cornhole.
You guys are too nice. See, the MLO bros, we have an event 2 weeks before Celebrate Poland. They deem us competition, and then
we want to be like, hey, pop by. Here's a drink.
But you're gonna be promoting Celebrate Poland the entire time.
Like we're just gonna be like, keep going that way, or on your way back. So Celebrate Poland has the Chalk the Walk, which is super cool. But that's all like professional artists doing it. And every time I go there. There's always kids that are like, oh, I want to do chalk. So we're going to have just a big old chalk area on ours. So like if they go there,
sweet idea.
Look at the chalk, walk back. The kids can then get it out of their system, draw with the chalk all over the ground. I got a big old box of Crayola chalk. So we're going to do that.
It'll be great.
Fun. Yeah.
And then Celebrate Poland. They're having so many food trucks this year. Like they normally just have their vendors, but they got
then fire. Okay. When's parade?
Parade's Saturday, and I'm actually going to be in it. Luke's not going to be home yet, though, but we have a truck. I'm going to deck it out with MLO Bro stuff. I think I'm going to make like a shitload of hot dogs and like wrap them up and put MLO Bro stickers on them and like launch them out at people.
You are going to get in trouble.
I don't care.
Like, that's the idea. You are not.
I'm just going to throw hot dogs.
Definitely not allowed to throw hot dogs.
Why not?
You're not allowed to throw anything at the parades anymore.
You're not allowed to give away candy or anything?
You can. So what they say is like most of the parades now, there's a liability. You can't throw stuff at people. So usually
you have to walk and I'll just hand out hot dogs, I guess. That'll be fine. I don't know. I just want to hand out hot dogs. Like, because
is council supposed to be in the parade?
I don't know. You should look that up though, Miss Councilwoman.
Right. Chris or Mike, are we in the parade?
Yeah, I don't know. But like I always looked at it like dads are there with their kids, right? And I think Luke did this one year. Dads are there with their kids. Their kids are eating candy, but dads, they don't have anything else to eat. So, or moms, here's a hot dog. That sounds way better than candy, right? I'm sure you're sick off of candy, mom and dad. So here, just have a hot dog. That's the game plan, right?
See, I don't think I would eat a hot dog or any kind of meat product that was handed to me from somebody off the street.
From a street person.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't eat
in a
like
parade.
No, I mean maybe like a girl. Okay, not officially. Maybe like.
So Michael,
you should look at maybe something non-perishable.
Isaac tossing hot dogs. So many inappropriate jokes enveloped in this idea. I was actually the original
right, and
idea.
also not eating street meat.
No eating street meat.
Not
yes.
doing. I would not eat. No.
Also a joke in there somewhere, but I wanted to dress up as a like hot dog outfit while handing out hot dogs, and also have my wiener dog like walking in the parade with me. I think that would be just perfect. But
people would be so confused.
It'd be great.
I think if you're gonna, don't you have a wiener dog? A hot dog?
Yeah,
no,
I do. That's what I was saying, Graf.
I
was gonna walk my dog that's a wiener dog while handing out hot dogs and also dressed up like a hot dog. Great.
Like, why?
Great.
Do not have a hot dog eating contest. I'm sorry, David.
That would be sweet. That's in the tailgate next year.
No, hot dogs are which my husband gives me such a hard time about because I will not let our daughter eat hot dogs because it's the most common choking food for kids and adults.
Yeah.
Like the amount of it's not just the most common thing for kids to choke on.
Yeah.
Adults too.
It's so
a
weird.
hot dog eating contest is so dangerous. Do not do that. But yeah, my husband gives me a terrible time. He was like, "Are you kidding me? She's 2 years old."
Choking hazards.
I'm like, she can't have hot dogs.
Sounds like my sister's like super.
I'm like, maybe you could give her like a hot dog smoothie, but no.
Hot dog smoothie. That sounds disgusting.
I know. I'm like, she can't have that. No.
Or the evilest of hot dog pranks you can pull on somebody is you take you boil the hot dogs, right? You take the hot dog water and you fill up their ice tray with hot dog water so that they go and they make themselves a glass of ice water or lemonade and they're like, God, why does everything taste like hot dogs?
I
it's
love
so evil.
Pranks so much. I've never thought of that.
It's so evil. And they can't figure out.
Oh my God, I'm definitely doing that. I have like an entire repertoire of pranks though.
There you go.
That one.
Kind of morbid in a way to walk a wiener dog while offering hot dogs for consumption. Yeah, exactly.
They do make, I know for a fact they make wiener dog hot dog costumes. I know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think we have one. My wife has that.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. I'm sure Shelby's gotten Marshall a wiener dog or a hot dog outfit. But we are approaching an hour, everybody. We appreciate you for watching. Thank you for being on, Abbie.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Doesn't it go quick? I knew
it
would.
Really quick.
If you haven't already, please, 12 people still with us watching right now. Down below, give us a like, a thumbs up, or a heart, or something. Helps us out. Helps get more people in here checking out the MLO Bros. Also, on top of Troy as our sponsor of the month, we also have some other sponsors. We have Valley Insurance Group. That's Mayor Tim, our landlord, who lives right above us. Call him for home insurance and home and auto insurance. 330-757-4451, as well as Iron Fit Crew over in Struthers. And then MLO Bros stands for Mortgage Loan Originator Brothers. We are loan officers. So give us a call for your next home purchase or refinance. But probably rates are a little high. You might not want to refinance right now. Yeah. But and
if it doesn't work out, you could call me too. I'm also a loan officer.
She is a loan officer. What's your NMLS number, ma'am? I know you don't have to say it, but might as well.
171611.
And mine is 1949316.
Okay, you could say it faster, but
we say it every single time. But give us a call, either one of us, but probably just me. And we'll take care of you. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks
good night.
Again.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.